Okay, this begins the tour of our classroom here at Wine Cup Christian Academy. Enter in through the French doors. I like that because we can shut off noise from the family room out there. And I'm hoping y'all can't see the dust that I can see, but if you can, oh well. We don't have better homes and gardens here. We live here. Okay, one thing that every classroom has to have is bookshelves. And our bookshelves tend to collect things, so I keep a collection of books that are mine that I like to refer to every now and then. I keep all of our homeschool catalogs. There's lots of them that I like to look at. They're marked up, and sometimes I order from them, sometimes I don't, but mostly I just can't let go of my catalog, so there's quite a few there. These are the games that we use this school year. We have another closet actually several other closets that have games in them, but these are the ones we've been tending to use this year, especially this one, Money Bags. Nolan really likes that game. This is the sticker that belongs to my oldest son. I don't know why it's there. And then down here we have our reader, lots of novels and chapter books. We also have more elsewhere, but these are just the ones I plan on using, in the near future. And you can see we've got a little collection of dinosaurs right here too. Okay, and over here, this is the doors that lead into the kitchen, which is a huge mess right now, so we won't go in there, but we do science experiments and stuff in there at the island. And over here we have most of our books that we use for school. Well, we don't use them all for school. We refer to lots of them, and we like to look at them. And over here is our map. I think every classroom needs a map. This year we have the U.S. map up because we are doing American history, and we'll continue with that next year. And then when we go back to world history, we'll put the world map that we had before. And of course we have a globe because we like to find things on the globe. And I have these baskets. This basket here just has science and like history and geography type stuff. We've got some fact cards on insects and animals, space, and the presidents, because we're going to be memorizing the presidents. But found all these at Target for like $1. Really good deal. We have some binoculars, and it's just kind of a mess right now, but that's just how it is. We have our handy magnifying glass. This is a catapult that one of the kids made. They like to send things launching across the house. And then our bookshelves are organized by subject. This top shelf here is our math section. This is one of my all-time favorites. It's my 6th grade math book. I don't know why I have it. I think the school might have changed math books that year and we got to keep them, but we look at that every now and then. And then we have our basket that's full of manipulatives. We've got like a couple different clocks and this puzzle clock. We've got our little counting blocks that we use and some flashcards. And these are actually from when I was little. I had a tutor and she used these, so I learned how to count money with those, I guess, or we did some practice, but I still have those, and we've used those a few times. Then the next shelf is some language arts stuff. We have dictionaries and some Shakespeare things and lots of storybooks and little literature units, things like that I refer to every now and then. I really hope you can't see the dust. And then down at the bottom we have a lot of Bible and religious references and some holiday books. And then this top shelf here belongs to my 9th grader. These are books that he is using this year. Not all of them. The ones that he's finished with we've put elsewhere, but this is what's left for this year. And then he has other ones on his desk, which you'll see in a little bit. And this is where our science begins. Lots of science books, and it goes down onto this shelf. And then down here we have geography and history. And the bottom is just a bunch of storybooks and picture books, things like that. And then our other bookshelf, these are some of my books that I like to refer to a lot and that we use semi-regularly. And this basket over here has the rest of our calendar stuff and CDs that we listen to occasionally. And here we have our art and music books. This one is a great book. I think every homeschool should have it, The Art Fraud Detective. It's a lot of fun, and they get to learn about some famous pieces of art. And then we have more baskets here. This is the language arts basket. Again, more flashcards that I got at Target for $1. We have the Boggle Junior and some spelling type things, and our Junior Mad Libs, which are they crack my son up. So those are a must-have at our homeschool. And then I have our little art and science basket, another science basket. Got the art paper and these spilled, but these are those smelly markers. Some of you may remember them from when you were a kid. I know I loved these when I was a kid. They smell like all the different fruits. And then down here is my first graders bookshelf, and these are all the books that we are using in first grade and that we refer to quite frequently. And over here I have some more books and reference. These are things that I use as the teacher on a pretty much daily basis. They've got their assignment binders, and I've got my teacher editions and things that we use quite frequently. And then under my desk, believe it or not, under the desk, because we just don't have a whole lot of space. So I have to make space, but I bought some of those crates from Walmart. They were like $5 a piece, and so I have more over here. This is my brain, mom's brain. Basically everything that I need to remember. If it's important for me to remember, it needs to stay in that binder. Then I have our Scouts binder, because I have a Rising Eagle Scout, and then I have a new Cub Scout, my first grader. It's his first year in Scouts. I have more books over here that I like to use every now and then. This one, for instance, it's just it has little short stories, and we'll read them and do some reading comprehension, but sometimes I just feel like mixing it up, and I'll copy a worksheet from one of these, and we'll just do something different. I have more catalogs down here, and then that's my Master Tapestry of Grace binder. And then over here we have all kinds of subject binders, and this is where I keep things that I want to do, like this one, for instance, the language arts binder. I have it organized by like grammar, literature, poetry. You have all these different tabs, and then when I find things that I want to do at some point, I'll just throw them in here and we will do them. This is a beginning literature analysis sheet that some other homeschool mom made up. I found it online, printed them out, and we'll every once in a while pull those out. So other things that I just want to maybe might want to use someday, I keep them in there. And I have a binder for each of those subjects. Okay, so that takes care of all the books and the bookshelves. This is the children's workspace. I just have one of these 6-foot tables. They each have their side. You can see that my 6-year-old is much more organized than my 14-year-old. This is his mess over here, and it frequently looks like this. I don't know how he manages, but anyway, they each have their own workspace, and then they each have their set of notebooks and workbooks that they use every day, and their pencil boxes, things like that. And then they each have their own corkboard, and I let them put whatever they want on there. My 14-year-old is a future zoologist, and he likes these kinds of, he just likes to decorate it with reptiles and things like that. I also have posters, learning charts. We have the alphabet up here and some American history things, our president's poster. And then we have parts of speech over here. And then for my first grader, we're working on, he's going to be counting all the way to 1,000, but I found this chart, so he's copying this one currently. Let's see, what else? Oh, we have our whiteboard. I love the whiteboard. It's a great way to let the kids get involved. I don't like to always just stand there and do my part. I will put things up there, and then when they can have the privilege of writing on the whiteboard, it just makes them a little bit more cooperative when I want them to do something. So we have the whiteboard, and then over here I keep, in this drawers over here is where I keep the dry erase markers and the erasers. I have some paper and construction paper just handy. Over here we have a narration jar, which we don't use this enough. We need to use it more, but like, let's say we'll be reading a book, and then we'll just pull one of these out, and like, here's an example. It says, tell about a place or scene. Tell about the last scene in your book as if you are describing it to someone on the phone. So it gives them little, different ways to talk about, to do narration, and keeps it interesting, so they're not just always telling me, just kind of rattling back to me what they remember. Okay, and then we have the computer over here. This is my spot. This is the teacher's desk, and I admit I cleaned it up a little bit, because normally I have things a lot more spread out. Usually the whole desk looks more like this, the printer, the mess I have on the printer. Oh, and this is Roxy. She just barges in. That sound you hear, the door busting open, that happens all day long at our homeschool. Anyway, so that is how, I forgot one more thing. Over here I have the library basket. This is all our library books. And then our CD player. This is like I guess this is our media center if we want to get fancy. And we listen to classical music sometimes, and our books on tape. Usually we listen to the books on tape in the car. But and one other thing. We have our calendar. When my first grader every day changes the calendar and updates the days and the weather, and that's just something that he does daily. So, and then our flags for when we do the pledge, which we don't do it every day, but every once in a while we do that. So this is the room, and this is where it all happens, unless we're doing science. Again, we do that in the kitchen at the island, which is a disaster right now, so don't look, even though I just showed you. All right, so that's our classroom, and that's how I organize everything. I hope you enjoyed the tour.